Welcome to Defcon 3. I'm K.T. McFarland. The migrant crisis in Europe is getting worse. And it's while the leaders of the European Union are meeting with Turkey's prime minister to figure out how they can curb the flood of migrants into Europe and help Turkey. Well, as the countries, including Germany, pass one law after another, making it easier to deport refugees, we have to ask the question, could the same crisis happen here in the United States? Joining me with his take is Congressman from Texas, Ted Poe. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you're chairman of a subcommittee that's dealing with this, right?
That's right. I'm chairman of the Terrorism Subcommittee in Foreign Affairs.
Okay, so we're looking at what's happening in Europe, where there are millions, and many more millions heading to Europe. Does that mean that there's a threat to the United States? Do they somehow come to the United States willingly, unwillingly? And what does it mean to us?
Well, once a person gets into Europe and gets a passport, they can use that to get into the United States. That's the problem with dealing with Europe. And Europe has the same problem that we do in that they don't know who all these people are. Sure, you have Syrian refugees, but now they're finding out they have people from other countries, from Afghanistan, from Iraq, and other places in the Middle East. Some of those people are actually running from the brutality in Syria, and some of them have other reasons for going into Europe. Meanwhile, here in the United States, the president wants to bring in Syrian refugees. Well, we don't know who those people are. Even the FBI director says, we can't vet these people. We don't know who they are. So we have a real problem in the United States of knowing exactly who the people are that we want to bring.
So when you say when they get to Europe and they get paperwork, the European governments are not vetting them or not able to vet them before they hand them out a passport or some other papers?
They are supposedly trying to vet them at the border when they cross into whatever country in the European Union. That is where the vetting process takes place. But the individuals then move out of whatever country that is, Greece, for example, and move to other parts of Europe. But once they're in Europe and they've been allowed to stay, then they have the problem, or we have the problem, of knowing who those people are and the fact that they may come to the United States. So the Europeans know who some of them are. They don't know who all of them are. And there are a lot of them. So you have all of those factors playing into the issue that the Europeans say, maybe we shouldn't be allowing so many folks to come in our countries.
When you say we can't vet them, how, why?
We don't know who the person is. What I mean by that, the person has no identity. You can't run a criminal history check on a computer to see who this person is because they have no identity. And some of them are using and have fake passports that are made by ISIS. And so that's why the FBI director says we can't vet them because we don't know who they are. That is troubling for the United States because the United States has the obligation of national security. And until that process is fixed, then we should be very careful about letting people
in. The president has said, well, we're going to take in refugees. We're going to even take in more refugees. How can you do anything to stop that or to put the caution light or put the brakes on this?
Well, many of the state governors are concerned about this very issue, that people are going to be sent to their states without their consent. I've introduced legislation on the issue of refugees to let the state governor make the decision as to whether those refugees will be relocated in their particular states. And that would take place until they can actually be vetted. So that legislation is pending. Let the governors of the states decide rather than Washington, D.C. deciding where all these refugees are.
So let me just confirm. So if the president or the White House, the administration lets in Syrian refugees, they can put them anywhere in the United States they want without seeking first the permission of the governors?
They're supposed to put the state on notice. And we are getting information that, well, maybe not so, we're not getting permission or getting notice that these people are being sent to our particular state until they're already there, till they've been relocated. But yes, the federal government makes the decision to let the persons in and makes the decision where they'll put them in the 50 states.
Sounds like this is only getting worse.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Well, for more on this developing story, please go to foxnews.com. And thank you, Congressman Poe, for joining us.
Thank you, KT.
That's it for DEFCON 3. I'm KT McFarland.